As I've been saying for a long time now, the Democrat Party, as you may have known it, is gone. All right. It's no longer the Democrat Party of your parents. It's no longer the party that supposedly represents the working class of the American people. Instead, it's been taken over by the radical leftists, by the progressives, by the socialists. And what we're going to see today, of course, is Senator Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren coming out and admitting as much. But before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can get through the algorithms. Here we go.
But the other part is get focused overall on what's happening in this country. And I want to put it this way. It's about, are we running this country for a handful of billionaires, or are we running this country for the American people, for working families? We are focused increasingly on affordability. The Republicans now have their big signature achievement under Donald Trump's direction, and that is every single Republican in Congress voted to cut health care for 17 million Americans and give trillions of dollars in tax breaks to a handful of billionaires, billionaire corporations, and some extra left over for the millionaires. And I think that's the part we've just got to use as the tip on the spear.
How is this not a unifying message, not just for Democrats, but for everybody in the working class and the middle class?
You got it, Joe. It is. And in fact, that's the mayoral race right now in New York City. That's Zohran Mamdani. How does this young guy come in, doesn't have the money to spend that Cuomo has, doesn't have the position that Adams has, doesn't have the backing of the billionaires? How does that work? He comes in and he talks about how to make New York City affordable for families. And he says, we got to talk about housing, we got to talk about the price of groceries, and we got to talk about childcare. Because without those young families who are trying to make it, people can't make it in New York City unless they're rich. And he wants to make this city work for working people. And that's what it's all about. That's why I think this race in New York City is so important, because Zohran managed to win by talking about affordability. Democrats across this country will win by talking about affordability. And then, and here's the key, not just talking about it, delivering on it. And the people I know and know well, like Mamdani, like Ocasio-Cortez, like Sanders, are all in there fighting, and they know what they're fighting for. They're fighting for an America that's not just controlled by a handful of billionaires who dump literally millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into campaigns. They want somebody who is actually there to fight for them. And that's what I think these races are about. That's what I think the New York mayoral race is about. And that's what I think the 2026 races all around the country will be about.
So there you have it. Elizabeth Warren is basically admitting that the party leaders right now, the momentum, the energy is all in the camps of the socialists, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and of course, Mamdani. But of course, all that momentum is all about basically giving away free stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Affordability is a very powerful argument, and it's a good one to be making. That's one of the reasons why Donald Trump won his presidential bid in 2024. But what the Democrats are talking about essentially is free stuff, okay? More giveaways. When we talk about Medicaid, we're kicking 14 million people off of the rolls and every single Republican voted for it. What we were doing is looking for people who shouldn't be on the rolls in the first place, right? Illegal immigrants and able-bodied young folks without kids, right? That's who we're getting rid of. But of course, the Democrats love to tout that big number as if all of a sudden large swaths of Americans who won't be able to get a job are being kicked off. And that's just not what's happening. And then, of course, you have the tax breaks for the billionaires. They don't seem to understand that the top 1% pays almost 40% of America's taxes, and the top 10% pay 80%. Okay. And by the way, the bottom 50% pay nothing. They actually get government subsidies in the forms of unemployment or welfare or EBT or whatever the case may be. Okay, so that's really who the left, who the Democrats are pandering to. And of course, they're doing it completely in the open for everyone to see because they're no longer ashamed to be called socialist or communist or what have you. However, the left is still going to do what the left does. So check out this meeting of socialists discussing Mamdani's plans for the future.
Zohran is literally attempting to do what conservatives say, we want to do, which is provide gender-affirming care to anyone who wants it for free, and we're going to like ship people, we're going to fly people in and pay for their hotel rooms, and we're going to do all of the like Fox News stuff. Like, we're getting ideas from Fox News. I want to like, hey, we'll do that. Thank you. But most importantly is we collaborated with the Zoran Mamdani campaign on his trans rights platform. And what we explicitly wanted to do was use the power of New York City to provide free gender-affirming care, and I say free in case insurance companies decide to boot us off, free gender-affirming care, not just to people in New York City, but across the country. When Zoran first kind of approached DSA leadership about running, his pitch was, he said, I'm going to get socialists to vote for me, and I'm going to get Muslims to vote for me. With Zoran, we're in basically the best possible position to seize state power that we can be in because, you know, we're like this, right? DSA has regular meetings with him, let alone his team. His policy director is my friend. I've been working with his campaign manager for well over a year. You know, I have friends who are in his staff.
So that's a meeting of the Democrat Socialists of America. And what are they saying? Basically, all the crazy leftist stuff that we've been warning America about is exactly what they want to do. All right. So Mamdani wants to, of course, take the hard-earned tax dollars of New York citizens and fund trans surgeries, right? Just in case Medicaid or Medicare or health insurance companies don't pay for them. But not just in New York City, but across the entire country. And you might as well expand that to the entire world, because don't forget, New York is a sanctuary city. So if someone flew in just for that surgery, they're going to get their hands on it if Mamdani is elected. Okay, but this is what I find to be truly hilarious about the entire situation, right? Supposedly these socialists are for the working people of America. And yet New York City right now has some of the highest taxes in the entire country. All right. So if you really want to help out the working people of America, the first thing you could do is lower their taxes, get rid of burdensome regulation, and of course, lower business taxes and fees so that more people can actually get out there and obtain the American dream. But of course, that simple idea is far too much for the socialists to understand. And yes, they have taken over the Democrat Party completely and are, of course, proud of that fact. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.